So you want to buy a new drone. Who doesn't? The problem is there are so many on the market. How do you choose? Well, that's where I'm going to try to help you. What I tried to do here was create an objective drone scorecard so that we could look at any drone and look at various factors like feature set, the price, the design of the drone, what's the aftermarket support like, what's the flight time, all those kinds of things that you're going to think about when you want to buy a drone. So what I've done here is put together a grid of 9 features or 9 aspects against a 1:9 scale. And the 9 is because of Norse mythology, and this is Asgard Studios, so 9, there we go. Anyway, I use the Mavic Air as an example here because I think most people would agree it's one of the best camera drones on the market, regardless of price or whatnot. So let's walk through this scorecard. The first thing is features. So what does it include? Camera, gimbal, the controller, does it have weatherproofing, things like that. The second thing is price, and this is relative to other drones in its category, right? So the Mavic Air has a certain price, and there's really no drone that can touch that. So I call that amazing for the money. All right, so the third thing on the list is design and form factor. What is the drone designed like? The Mavic Air, for example, is foldable, and it's one of the tiniest drones that you can buy, with a 4K camera. It's pretty incredible. So we look at things like that. You could also look at whether it's a hexacopter versus a quadcopter. A hexacopter is more stable. It has redundant motors, or it could be even a larger form factor, like maybe 8 or 10 motors. There are quadcopters out there like that. The fourth thing is support. What's it like to get something fixed on the drone if you break it, or what happens if you crash it? Do you have coverage? So those things are kind of important as well. Ecosystem. So what kind of accessories can you buy? How well integrated is it with Apple and Android and all the popular smartphones? So that's something to consider as well. Number 6 on the list is quality. How well built is it? Is it got good materials? Is it thoughtfully built? In the case of the Mavic Air, I think most people would agree it's an exceptionally built machine. Number 7 is flight time. I think this is important for everybody, whether you're a leisure flyer or a commercial flyer. You want to have as much airtime as you can, and so that's one of our aspects as well to grade on the scorecard. Another thing is survivability. Now, I specifically call this survivability because a drone can survive 2 ways. It can be either very durable, i.e. well built, tough, tank-like, or it can have extremely intelligent collision avoidance. So in the case of, say, the DJI Spark, it is built like a little tank. I've struck telephone poles and wires with it and stuff, and the thing keeps on ticking, which is really nice because, who wants their drone to be dead? The Mavic Air, for example, though, it doesn't seem to be as well built as the DJI Spark, but it has much more sophisticated sense and avoid capabilities. It has detection front, bottom, and rear, I believe, just not top and sides. And finally, the last aspect is stability. How stable is it to fly? Now, if you're flying an FPV freestyle quad, then obviously stability is not necessarily an option, right? You want something that is perhaps inherently unstable so you can do tricks and flips and things like that. But, still, you want a quadcopter that is stable until you want it to be unstable. So stability applies even if it's not a camera drone. And in case of the Mavic Air, it's rock solid. It's one of the best out there. There's a video on YouTube of this guy who throws water balloons at his Mavic Air, which is freaking hilarious. I'll link that. Anyway, so I hope you found this useful. This is a draft, if you will. It's the first time I'm putting this scorecard out. So if you've got comments, if you've got feedback, please leave it in the comments below. I'd really like to know what you think of this. And I'm using the Mavic Air just as an example. So if you have any, concerns about the ratings I've given the Mavic Air, or you've got real world experience, then chime in, let me know. I'm happy to update these scorecards. I'm not the judge, jury, and executioner of drones here. I'm just some guy that, has opinions. So But anyway, this is a scorecard I'm trying to put together for all my future reviews. That way I've got kind of an objective, snapshot of each drone. So somebody can look through a bunch of drones and say, okay, well, I want something with a lot of flight time, or maybe I want something with high durability or whatever. And so that's what I'll cover in these scorecards. And of course, this is just a part of the review that I'll be doing for any given drone. I'll also be talking a lot about all the features in detail. This will be just like, once I've covered everything, this will be the snapshot at the end that says, hey, this is the grade you got. Is it a pass or fail, basically? And as you can see for the Mavic Air, it's a 93%. So I think that's pretty good. Anyway, so I will leave it with you guys there. So hopefully you find something useful here. If not, let me know how we can fix it.